Good day, dear students. Today we will speak about roofs of the house. Write down the theme, please. Добрый день, дорогие студенты. Наша сегодняшняя тема называется «Крыши дома». Напишите тему. Dear students, at the last lesson, we have known information about building materials, about parts of the house, and today let's speak about roofs. First of all, you should write down the vocabulary, learn by heart the new words, translate the text. Before speaking about roofs, I should give you some questions. Please answer to these questions. The first question: when did people begin to build houses? When did people begin to build houses? The second question: what was the purpose of house construction? What was the purpose of house construction? The third: what materials did ancient people use for roofing in ancient times? What materials did ancient people use for roofing in ancient times? We have spoken about about the dwelling of ancient people. That's why you should know about it. The fourth question: what materials do people use for roofing at present? Please answer to this question using all your knowledge about the construction. Now, dear students, let's pay attention to the vocabulary. Adobe – сырец, кирпич воздушной сушки. Adobe. Cast iron – чугун. Cast iron. Covering – покрытие. Covering. Dome – купол, свод. Dome. Drain – дренажная труба. Drain. Flat – плоский, ровный. Flat. Gabled – остроконечный. Gabled. Hipped roof – вальмовая четырехскатная крыша. Hipped roof. Inclination – уклон, скат. Inclination. Leak – утечка, течь. Leak. Membrane surface. Membrane surface – кровельная поверхность. Membrane surface. Precipitation. Атмосферные осадки. Precipitation. Puncture. Прокол, дырка, пробивание. Puncture. To penetrate. Проникать внутрь, просачиваться. To penetrate. Penetrate. Reinforced concrete beam. Железобетонная балка. Reinforced concrete beam. Rigid. Жесткий. Rigid. Жесткий. Ridge. Конек крыши. Shed roof. Односкатная крыша. Shed roof. Slope. Скат, уклон. Shingle. Кровельная черепица. Shingle. Slate. Шифер. Slate. Steel girder. Стальная балка. To trap. Поглощать. To tend. Иметь тенденцию. Склоняться к чему-либо. Uppermost. Верхний, главный. Uppermost. Now, dear students, you should know these words by heart. Дорогие студенты, вам следует запомнить эти слова. Сейчас, используя новый словарь, читаем с вами текст, и надо будет перевести. Now, you should read the text and using this vocabulary, try to translate it. Please pay to the pronunciation of the words and sentences also. Roofs, types and parts. One of the most important elements of a house is the roof. A roof is the covering on the uppermost part of a building. It protects the building and its contents from the effects of weather, rain, heat, sunlight, cold, snow, and wind. The characteristics of a roof are depend upon the climate of an area, the purpose of the building that it covers, the available roofing materials, and the local traditions of construction and wider concepts of architectural design and practice. Roofs can be sloped, flat or domed. Within these three broad categories, many variations are possible. For example, mansard, hipped, doublet, conical, etc. Sloped roofs. A sloped or pitched roof is a roof with two slopes that meet at a central ridge. Sloped roofs prevent buildings from heavy rains and snowfalls. Water can down sloped roofs and go down to the drain. A sloped roof can be simple or a complex roof formed using a combination of different shapes mentioned above. Please pay attention to the picture. In this picture you can see the roof, sloped roof, its name, and pay attention to the central part of the house, because two slopes meet in the central part of the house. That's why it is named sloped roofs. Flat roofs. Flat roofs are completely different from sloped roofs. These are used in regions with low precipitation and dry climate. The traditional material used are concrete, brick, or adobe. In contrast to the sloped form of a roof, a flat roof is horizontal or nearly horizontal. Materials that cover the flat roofs typically allow the water to run off freely from a very slight inclination. Flat roofs tend to be attractive to human traffic. Anything which produces a crack or puncture in the surface can quite readily lead to leaks. One of the more interesting emerging methods of protecting the roofing membrane is to use a layer of topsoil and grasses. Care should be taken not to plant anything the roots of which will penetrate the membrane surface. The green roof traps moisture on the roof and keeps it up in the soil and plants, but not on the membrane surface. For example, in this picture you can see flat roofs. Flat roof. Now let's speak about parts of a roof. There are two parts of a roof: its supporting structure and its uppermost weatherproof layer. The supporting structure of a roof usually comprises beams that are long and of strong, fairly rigid materials such as timber and, since the middle of 19th century, cast iron or steel. Timber lends itself to a great variety of roof shapes. The timber structure can fulfill an aesthetic as well as practical function. With continual improvements in steel girders, this became the major structural support for large roofs and eventually for ordinary houses as well. Another form of girder is the reinforced concrete beam, in which metal roots are encased in concrete, giving it greater strength under tension. First of all, pay attention about the supporting structure. Supporting structure, and in this picture you can see the structure, the beams are from timber. Timber, it is also nowadays very modern. Now about uppermost layers. Uppermost layers create a variation depending upon availability of material. In simple architecture, roofing material is often vegetation such as sea grass and bamboo with a life of perhaps 40 years. In areas with an abundance of timber, wooden shingles are used. The slate roof is often considered the best type of roofing because slate is an ideal and durable material. A slate roof may last 75 to 150 years and even longer. In the 20th century, a large number of roofing materials were developed, including roofs based on bitumen, on rubber, and on a range of synthetics such as thermoplastic and on fiberglass. Since then, many types of metal roofing have been developed. Steel shingle roofs last about 50 years or more depending on both the methods of installation and the moisture barriers underlayment used. For example, today we use a lot of kinds of covering materials of the roof, and every one of them are so durable for today's day. Dear students, today we have known information about roof. First of all, we paid attention to the part of to the shape of the roofs, and the second we paid attention to the material of the roof, covering material, and also have known a lot of new words. At home you should, using these words, translate the text and also read with good pronunciation. Дорогие студенты, сегодня мы узнали с вами части крыши, какие они бывают, какими крыши бывают, и во-вторых, узнали, из чего состоит крыша. Узнали, что обязательно нам понадобятся балки, из балок состоит, и еще кровли. Вам дома следует, используя новую лексику, перевести текст также с хорошим произношением, читать текст. Our lesson is over. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.